Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome. The doctor is in, and for some reason, it's not showing up right here. Hold on. What's going on here? Okay. I don't know why that happened. That's weird. Okay, so let's exit out of that. Yeah, so we're getting back into Umineko When They Cry. Legend of the Golden Witch. Picking up right after where we first read the epitaph. This time I made absolutely sure that the save files are still in place. Because that was a fun time. Okay, what am I missing here? Oh yes, that's right. First, before we start, need to make sure that the sound alerts are working properly. There we go. Oh, it posted my name twice in the title. Let me see if I can't fix that. Alright, well. Anyway. Yeah. Hold on. One thing I've got to real quick take care of here. And then we can start for real.
Hello there.
Hello there, Chalvin. Thank you for joining. How goes it? And thank you for the Lurkhead fan. Appreciate you being here. How are you doing? It's going. Yeah, I've had that kind of day. Work finally started picking up speed after having relatively slow period over the holidays, so okay for the most part. So on the 10th twilight the journey ends and you reach the Golden Land. You really are diligent, Maria. You did a good job writing all this down. Ooh, I forget a lot, so I always write things down. Mama told me to. There was a notebook inside the handbag Maria was always carrying around. Beatrice's epitaph was copied onto it. Thanks to that, we were all able to challenge the puzzle of the epitaph while walking down this beach. Jessica and the rest had already tried to solve it several times, and had already gotten bored with it. However, since this was a first for me, I was so excited I couldn't stop. It really tickled my sense of adventure. Let's start with the first line. Behold the sweet fish river running through my beloved hometown. Where was grandfather's hometown again? I heard that before the war the Ushiromiya family had a mansion near Odawara, which makes you want to know which sweet fish river flows through Odawara, right? What just fell over? Hopefully nothing important. Yeah, because that river would be the starting place. Anyone searching for the Golden Land would head down that and search for the key. Thank you for the lyric, Mickey. Hope you're doing alright. What's this river in Odawara? Does it have sweet fish swimming in it? If you're looking for sweet fish in Odawara, it'd have to be Hayakawa. It's famous for its mountain stream fishing. Ooh, I hate fish. Maria, you'll understand when you get a bit older. Lick, 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 lick. Salty, sweet. I can use words. Salty roasted sweet fish. Yummy. Even though we just ate, I'm getting hungry again. Shall I bring you a biscuit? Huh? Oh, sorry, that's not what I meant. Don't mind it. Shannon was faithfully keeping us company since she didn't have any afternoon chores for a while. I gotta adjust my seat. Hold on. There we go. I would have thought that since she's a servant, accompanying us would force her to take care of us and tire her out, but that didn't seem to be the case for her. On the contrary, she seemed to enjoy joining in on a conversation with people close to her age. When I asked, I heard that she was the sort of worker whose room and board was supplied by her employer. So normally the only person close to her in age was Jessica. Yeah, I can imagine how that might be pretty dull. Okay, so I get that the sweet fish-filled river near Odawara is Hayakawa. In that case, we gotta go down it. Do you find anything if you head down Hayakawa River? If you follow it downstream, you'll arrive at the ocean. Of course, you'd reach the mouth of the river. And the third line of the epitaph was, as you travel down it, you will see a village. By the way, since long ago, the mouths of rivers have been key points in transportation, and large cities tend to be built there. That'd be the next checkpoint. That's a pretty good theory. Just like you guessed, there's an old city there that was very prosperous in ancient times. That's where Odawara Castle is. I think I might have gone to Odawara Castle on a field trip once. It really was a wonderful castle. Yeah, I also went there. Even though I live in a Western-style house, it's true that Japanese people feel calmer with the Japanese layout. Ooh, castles are boring. Theme parks are better. Ooh. I see. Okay. If we find the goal, the Great Battler Summon will generously reserve a whole theme park for a day and let you play in it. Still, Odawara Castle, huh? The hidden gold of Odawara Castle. Oh? It's actually starting to sound pretty good. Well, we figured out that much 2 years ago. The village down the river where the sweetfish swim in Odawara. We figured it was probably somewhere near Odawara Castle. Problem is the next line. Okay, let's see where Battler's strange reasoning can take him. Jessica grinned broadly. She seemed to be implying that she would have solved the puzzle long ago if it was that easy. Damn it. I'll definitely find it and keep it all for myself. The fourth line. In that village, look for the shore the two will tell you of. I don't know what it means by the two, but anyway, the shore. What does it mean by the shore? No, wait. Is there any place near there with shore or the Kishi character in its name? I've heard there's a place called Sogakishi in Odawara. Huh? Oh, you sure know a lot about it. What could that mean? John, are you trying to solve the riddle and get the gold too? That makes us rivals. It's not like I'm interested in gold. It's just that George-sama told me about it before. That's because we reached the same conclusion 2 years ago. We even went to the trouble of laying out a map and looking it up. It was about 5 kilometers to the north of Odawara. We definitely found a place called Sogakishi there. However, after that we get stuck. The fifth line doesn't say where the key is hidden in that place. Maria-chan, could you read it for us? Ooh, there sleeps the key to the Golden Land. Ooh, I could read it! Sogakishi is probably large, and there wasn't ever any house built there by the Ushiromiya family. So, not much we can do to find a key in such a vast area without any hints. You're right. And without the key, we can't advance to the next line. George Aniki, what kind of place is Sogakishi? Let's see. I've never been there, so I don't really know, but according to the map, it's in the mountains. I'm pretty sure it was at the base of Mount Asama. Something doesn't feel right. You'd expect a riddle pointing to the way to the hidden gold to be a bit more exact. I get the feeling that even the part about Sogakushi was a mistake. Well, I think it could be Sogakushi. Hey, thank you for the subscription, Kishu. How's it going? And thank you for the honk, Wild Talon. How are you both doing? It could be... Oh, was this? Oh, and thank you for the host as well. Appreciate it. It could be talking about some house that grandfather lived in when he was a kid that we don't know about. After all, the first line mentioned his beloved hometown. Shannon, you've served grandfather alcohol and stuff lots of times, right? Hasn't he ever talked to you about his past? The master almost never speaks of his past. However, he talks of the Great Kanto earthquake as though it was someone else's story. Okay, doing good. Gonna lurk for now because I want to do some reading. Okay. Jalvin has you pulled up on the TV, so I felt left out. Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, I'm glad you're both doing all right. I'm doing okay. Doing okay. Got my tea in hand and got my water close by, so hopefully I won't broly my voice this time, because I don't remember if Kinzo has any rants in this segment, but we'll see. Oh, it's elderberry tea. It's not elderberry wine, so in case any of you have seen that movie, don't worry. So he may have been living far away from the Kanto area. The Ushiromiya family may have been living in Odawara, but not all of the branch families were. Grandfather often called himself part of a branch family. Yeah, I like it okay. The least connected to the successor. And that means the beloved hometown might not even be Odawara at all. I've never heard anything about grandfather's hometown. Well, I ain't got two old ladies serving me the elderberry tea either, so... Anyway. And I doubt he'd actually tell me if I asked. If the so-called beloved hometown isn't referring to the Ushiromiya family's roots, then the Odawara theory is wrong from the beginning. Of course, this doesn't completely remove the possibility that it was Sogakushi. For example, perhaps he lived in Odawara when he was very young, but then moved far away later. Ooh, I don't understand what you're all talking about. Ooh. Maria had been completely left out of the conversation, and she now sat puffing out her cheeks in boredom. So basically, if we can't even agree on the starting point for this dice game of gold, we're totally stuck. But wait. Oh, you hate Maria so much? That is a common sentiment this early in the game. Well, I remember you mentioning it now. I just forgotten until you brought it up again. But wait. After the first 5 lines, the thing we end up finding is a key, right? If you don't have a key, it's always possible to bust through a door. Can't we just skip the first 5 lines and start figuring out the rest? Oh. I hadn't thought of that. You just want to hit her. Okay. That's, good to know. Oh well, we're just wasting time anyway. Let's hear the rest of the battler's reasoning. Yeah, I know, I get it. She annoys me too. But we're just wasting time anyway. Let's hear the rest of the battler's reasoning. But in the next part, it gets dark really fast. She's fictional. This is true. This is true. Of course, then again, I'm reminded of my feelings towards Nina Tucker before that one episode. Yeah, that was fun times. Shannon-chan frowned slightly. After looking back at Maria's notebook to recall what was written there, yeah, I was forced to agree. On the first twilight, offer the 6 chosen by the key as sacrifices. Sure does get horrible quickly. On the second twilight, it says to tear apart the 2 who are close. Does that mean to break them? Does that mean to make them break off their loving relationship? Or does it mean to literally tear them apart? I don't know, but either way, it's pretty disgusting. Even if we set that second line aside, it mentions 6 people for the first twilight. Then 5 people for the fourth through 8th twilights. So at least 11 people must be sacrificed. Ooh! They're sacrifices to revive Beatrice! I see. Sacrifices to restore the witch. Yeah, that's what it'd mean. Near the end, the witch will be revived in the 9th twilight. That last part is guaranteed. On the 9th twilight, the witch shall revive, and none shall be left alive. So everyone will die in the end. And after that, the 10th twilight is the goal line. Not sure how you're supposed to reach the golden light if everyone's dead by then. Depending on how you interpret it, the traveler who holds the key may or may not be included in the none shall be left alive part. But at the end, there's something pretty interesting. After reaching the goal, the witch gives out 4 treasures. One shall be all the gold. The problem is the next one. It says the dead souls will be resurrected, right? Doesn't that sound like it means everyone who died in the earlier lines? If you put it like that, then the part about reviving lost love... Yeah, creepy, right? Yeah, and that sound effect is from this game, ladies and gentlemen. Then the part about reviving lost love might refer to the pair torn apart on the second twilight. That's right. And the 4th one refers to the 9th twilight. The 4th treasure is putting the witch revived in the 9th twilight to sleep. If we put a happy spin on all this, it'll be hectic with people dying and breaking up all over the place, but it'll all be made right in the end. Yeah, Epitaph's pretty well poetically written. There we go. And everything will be like it was at the start, except with a huge pile of gold. The witch must be pretty busy with all the killing, reviving, breaking up, and reuniting people. Not to mention waking up and sleeping. Sheesh. Just when the tale of the hidden gold was getting interesting, it all gets pretty dubious once the witch starts showing up. Too true. I laughed along with Jessica. After all, the idea of a witch was just too ridiculous. Of course, once we started laughing like that, Maria, who believed in the witch, got angry. Ooh, the witch is incredible. She can do anything with magic. Even kill. Even bring back to life. Even give love, even take it. She can fly in the sky, can become invisible, can even make golden bread out of nothing. Ooh. 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 Ugh, dang. My bad, we were just joking. Jessica apologized, sticking out her tongue, but Maria didn't accept it. She grabbed her notebook back out of my hands and, opening to some other pages, tried to prove that the witch existed. Those pages had colorful drawings of witches on them, and well conveyed the fantastical image Maria had of witches. It wasn't the normal sinister image of a crooked-nosed hag flying around on a broom, but a dreamlike person with unnatural powers who could do anything and wore a beautiful dress. It was just what you'd expect from an imaginative young girl. Flitting through the sky, crossing a rainbow, dancing around all night with a teacup and a teapot that would never get empty no matter how much you poured out of it. With a flourish of her staff, the stars in the sky would become candy and pour down, and the flowers that produced sweets would bud by the roadside. To Maria, witches were the only concept that could embody the magical dream that so captivated her. As she grew older, it was the last remaining thing that could give richness to her dull and plain everyday life. That's why Maria believed in witches. She didn't want that dream of hers to be tarnished. That's why she didn't want anyone to tarnish the epitaph, which affirmed the existence of witches. Because the witch named Beatrice is Maria's dream, to Maria-chan, the epitaph isn't a guide to the hidden gold, but magic to revive the witch. Wait, hold on. What's going on here? Okay, never mind. So it was the single link between Maria and... Oh, I see. There's... it's split up from George to the narrator. So it was a single link between Maria and the witch. Maria was very angry and clung to George Aniki. Jessica and I scratched our heads and apologized. It might not be possible to smooth things over again like the time she got mad in front of the portrait. Maria didn't seem willing to be easily consoled. Unlike Jessica and I, who hung our heads wondering what to do, Shannon-chan timidly opened her mouth. Maria-sama, did you know? There's a ghost story about Beatrice that has been passed down among the servants. Ooh? Yeah, that's right. Shannon, tell us about it. I don't really know, but it's apparently pretty famous among the servants. What is this? A ghost story? Yes, it seems it's a story from before we were born. I also heard about it from my mother. Yes, it has been passed down since the time of the mansion's construction. The servants of that time whispered that the mansion had two masters. One of the day and one of the night. The tale that Shannon told was just like a typical campfire ghost story. If there was a forest with a witch living inside it, then of course the witch would come pay the mansion a visit from time to time. At some point, this ghost story naturally sprouted up between the servants. Yeah. Excuse me. When people do the rounds a second time to check doors, windows, and locks that were supposedly closed, they'd find some of them left open. Lights that were supposed to be off were turned on, and lights that were supposed to be on went out. Things left lying around would disappear, and things would appear when no one had any memory of putting them there. When any of these things happened, the old servant would say that the witch had visited the mansion, invisible, and was playing pranks. Ooh! See? She exists! Beatrice exists! Yeah, she exists. Long ago, it was always right before leaving for school that I wasn't able to find my bag and stuff. Maria puffed out her chest with an ooh-ooh, as though this was the final proof of the witch's existence. Yep, that's Hope in the background right now. Okay, that is the last of the tea. Very good. Let me get some water real quick. Okay. If I opened my mouth, Maria would probably be hurt again, so I didn't. I mean, you hear this kind of story everywhere. Depending on the place, they might blame it on a dwarf or an elf. The only difference is that they call it a witch on this island. Of course, walking around a vast, elegant mansion at night would be a little unsettling. Just ask the cast of Resident Evil. It's an island devoid of people. Since the mansion is so drafty, walking around the night of a thunderstorm would certainly be eerie. In addition, some servants have also seen will-o'-the-wisps and glittering butterflies dancing around. Canon-kun also saw something like that when he went patrolling one night. I know that wasn't in the text, that was me adding into that. But, you know, the Resident Evil mansion's creepy, and that's before you find the zombies. And recently, you often hear servants talking about strange footsteps heard inside the mansion near midnight. We've whispered together that the Beatrice-sama in the portrait sometimes makes herself invisible and walks through the mansion. It happened a while ago, but even I have heard footsteps while patrolling at night that resemble these stories. Phew, that's scary. But there's nothing to be afraid of. Beatrice-sama is another ruler of this mansion, separate from the master. So there's no need to be unnaturally afraid. If you respect her, I hear she won't do anything bad. However, she can be quite terrifying if you don't respect her, right? Correct. I've heard that just before I began working here, someone who spoke badly about Beatrice-sama fell down the stairs and quit after receiving a large injury to their back. Because of that, there was a rumor between the servants that Beatrice-sama's anger had been brought down upon this person. Ooh, anger will definitely be brought down on Battler and Jessica. Ooh. I'm sorry. I don't want her anger brought down on me. Thanks for the cackle there. Nice timing. I apologize, Maria. Of course, I also apologize to the witch. I'm sorry, Beatrice-sama. Please forgive an outsider's nonsense. I'll apologize as well. I'm sorry, Beatrice-sama. Will the witch be able to forgive us now? Ooh, don't know. Witches are fickle, so they forgive when they want to and don't when they don't. Ooh. That's no good. Maria-chan, isn't there some kind of good luck charm that could prevent Battler-kun and Jessica-chan from suffering Beatrice-sama's wrath? Maybe something that could block against magic? By relying on Maria, who is proud of knowing the most about witches, George was trying to revive her self-esteem. Once again, I've got to admire his ability to calm kids down. After taking a moment to cross her arms and seriously ponder whether there might be a charm that could save us, she started flipping through the pages in her notebook. I thought it was just a scribbled diary, but there also seemed to be quite a few pages that looked like they'd come from a book on black magic. Maria solemnly considered a group of these pages, which contained things that looked like magic circles. Apparently, Grandfather wasn't the only one with a black magic hobby. When Maria finally found what she was looking for, she snapped the notebook shut and threw it into her handbag. She then began fishing through that bag's contents. There seemed to be various jumbled up things in there. After a while, she took out various pieces of junk, although they were probably important magical items to Maria, and repeatedly threw them back in, saying they were wrong. It was all a little humorous, just like when Doraemon took out the wrong tool. Finally, she seemed to discover what she was looking for. With a face that was unimaginably cheery when compared to the intense expression she had worn until now, she held those out to Jessica and me. Yes, she's dangerous because she's involved in the cult, definitely. Yep. Ooh! I grabbed it and saw that it was a very cheap-looking charm. It looked like a bracelet made from a plastic rosary, with a scorpion-themed metal attached. Haven't you ever seen those cheap Zodiac-themed accessories? The kind you might win in a crane game at an arcade? It really looks something like that. There were two of them. Probably one for me and one for Jessica. However, the very fact that there were two of them made them feel even more like cheap manufactured goods, making it pretty hard to think of them as magical items. You're giving these to me and Battler? Ooh, with these charms you don't even need to worry about Beatrice, because scorpions have the power to ward off magic. Huh, really? Didn't know scorpions could do that. Ooh, Battler doesn't believe. Ooh. I'd said too much and angered Maria again. Maria took out her notebook again, pointing out various pages as she went on and on about how the scorpion had such incredible holy power that it had been used in magic-repelling magical circles since ancient times. I've heard about that from some of the other young servants. Something about how the scorpion is drawing as a magic-repelling symbol in sorcery. Huh, really? Saving us from the scary, annoying child. The scorpion protects against bad magic and calamity. An emerald brings peace to the heart. Therefore, its effects are twofold. Ooh. It's true. The scorpion wraps around the emerald and protects it. Yes, that certainly does sound like it'd work well. I really wanted to make fun of those worthless-looking charms, but as I watched Maria explaining with all of her heart and realized that she'd found them for our sakes, I started to feel like it might actually work, even if it was just a prize from some game center. The material quality of the charm didn't matter. What mattered was the strength of her feelings. Even I don't think of myself as the sort of loser who would laugh at something like that. Okay, thank you. I apologize to Beatrice-sama, but even if I do end up getting cursed, I'll be safe now thanks to Maria's charm. Right, Jessica? Yeah, that's right. Thanks, Maria. Ooh, wear it on your arm when you want your heart to be at peace. Put it in your wallet and your money won't decrease. If you hang it from a doorknob, bad things can't get in. It's a really convenient charm. I thought she was going to rhyme there. What an incredible effect. If Maria-sama gives it her confident seal of approval, then it surely must be reliable. Shannon clapped her hands together. Maria stuck out her chest. She was totally in a good mood again. It's probably best if we let her lead the conversation a bit longer, if it'll keep her in such a good mood. Come to think of it, she looked a bit bored when we were getting excited about the hidden gold, probably because she couldn't keep up. While eating the cookies Kumasawa-san had baked, Jessica and I asked Maria this and that about black magic. Maria happily chatted away in response to our questions. Each time George Aniki and Shannon-chan would act surprised or chime in. The clouds in the sky grew darker and darker, but we cousins really enjoyed communicating freely after a year of separation. Did I just feel a drop on my forehead? Huh? I wonder. As George Aniki rubbed his forehead, he looked up at the sky. Considering the color of the sky and the dampness of the air, it wouldn't have been odd for a raindrop to hit him. The wind also seemed to have grown a bit stronger. Ooh, I didn't feel a drop. Only I didn't. Ooh. Don't worry, neither did I. Anyway, I'm sure it'll rain so much tonight that everyone will get to feel plenty of raindrops. That's right. Maybe we should head back soon. Shannon-chan looked down at her watch. It was probably well into the evening by now. Is it already time for you to return to work? Yes. Thank you very much for allowing me to enjoy some time together with you all. Tell Kumasawa-san thanks for the cookies. Okay, everyone, help out with the cleanup. Shannon-chan declined our help, saying that this was a servant's job. But picking up a dropped fork before the waitress has to is like my purpose in life. And we folded up the blanket, gathered up the trash, and helped clean everything up. Ooh, the trash is getting away! Ooh! I won't let it escape! I'll grab it before Maria does! Ooh! I'll grab it! Ooh! Ooh! Maria! Don't get your shoes wet, you'll get in trouble! To Maria, chasing after some trash sent flying by the powerful winds was just another game. By the time we finished, the wind was blowing pretty strongly. Probably a good time to head back. You've all helped me out a lot. Thank you very much. It looks like you're really out of time. It's okay if you head back first. George Aniki perceived from her hurried appearance that very little of her free time was left. Genji-san's very strict about time. If you don't show up where you're supposed to be at the right time, I'll bet he'd be pissed. We'll see you later. Do your best with your work. Yes. Then, if you'll excuse me. After making a respectful bow, Shannon-chan ran towards the rose garden. Okay, let's head back to the guest house. We can watch TV or something and relax a little. Ooh! Wanna watch TV? Wanna watch TV? Ooh! Then it's decided. Let's all head back and watch TV together. Maria, who wasn't done having fun, agreed once television was mentioned. Typical child. We climbed up the gentle stairs and returned to the rose garden. The wind had grown very strong, and roses shook throughout the garden like ripples on the water. This might be our last chance to see these beautiful roses. I bet tonight's typhoon ruins them. These roses might be done in by tonight's winds. You're right. Still, I think the roses were pretty lucky. After all, they got to welcome all of you before the typhoon. All flowers lose their petals eventually, but that means we can admire them even more when they're in bloom. That's right. Maria, burn this image into your eyes. At this moment, they're the best roses of the year. Ooh, burned into eyes. Right then, Maria suddenly clapped her hands. It looked like she remembered something. My rose. The typhoon will send it flying. Ooh. Oh, you mean that sad-looking rose George Aniki marked with a ribbon? Maria apparently remembered where the rose was. She ran at full speed. The rest of us followed her. Ooh. Ooh. Where was that again? I'm sure it was somewhere around here. We searched everywhere around that area, but it was only a single flower among all these roses after all. Even though we knew it was somewhere close by, we weren't able to find it. The winds making up the typhoon's front lines made roses throughout the garden undulate. It was almost like it was teasing us by making... Oh, okay. Cat hit my keyboard. Let's see. It's almost like it was teasing us by making the location of Maria's rose impossible to find. Maybe it wasn't here. Let's try spreading out a bit in our search. Sounds good. Let's go for strength in numbers. Huh? What's up, Maria? As we made split up in search, Maria tugged on my jacket with an unhappy face. You could tell that she didn't want us to leave that spot. What is it? What's wrong? Ooh, my rose is here. It's here. But it's actually not, right? Maybe it was on the other side of the flower bed. But if we all look, we'll find it fast, okay? Ooh, it's here! My rose is here! Look for it! Look for it! Ooh! Maria stomped her feet in irritation. She pointed to that spot and said it was definitely there, but in actuality, it wasn't. Even so, Maria got mad when we said we were going to search elsewhere. We were at a loss for what to do. For a while, we had to stay near Maria and pretend to search through that rose thicket. Ooh, ooh, not here, not here, not here, ooh. Maybe she's saying that it should be here but isn't? Maria became increasingly irritated. Oh man, Maria's really losing her temper. Sometimes Maria starts to really care about really pointless stuff. If she gets what she wants, it's okay, but you can't find something that isn't there. That's not good. Just when we were at a loss of what to do, Maria called out in a loud voice. She's not the only irritated one, yeah? Mama! Ooh, ooh! We could see Aunt Rosa in the direction Maria was waving her hand. Maybe she wanted to look at the garden one more time before the typhoon came. Or maybe she had some business at the guest house. Aunt Rosa was coming from the mansion. She quickly noticed her daughter's voice and came over. My, what happened, everyone? Are you looking for something? Look for it! Mama, you look for my rose too! Ooh, ooh, ooh! Your rose? We found an unhealthy rose around here and marked it. We tied a candy wrapper around it. But Maria, if I remember correctly, it was growing right in front and it really stood out, didn't it? And unless it grew legs and ran off somewhere, it must have been somewhere else. Maybe you remembered it wrong? Ooh! It is here! It is here! Battler doesn't believe! Ooh! Ooh! How many times do I have to tell you to stop saying ooh ooh before you'll understand? Mama will look for it, so stay quiet. I'd never seen Aunt Rosa be anything other than kind and gentle, so her anger surprised me a bit. Aunt Rosa began searching as well, so we went along with her for the time being. But we were already more than sure that it wasn't around here. So it didn't take long for Aunt Rosa to realize that too. The rose isn't here. Did you mistake this place for somewhere else? There are so many roses around. Ooh! Ooh! That's wrong! It's here! Mama doesn't believe. Ooh! 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 I already believed you and looked hard for it, didn't I? But it isn't here. Ooh! Ooh! But it is here! It is here, but it isn't! Ooh! 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 Then someone must have ripped it out. Anyway, stop saying ooh! 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 Who ripped out my rose? Who did? Give it back! Give it back! Ooh! Ooh! That's that, Shalvin? You want to smack her? Ooh! How should I know? Stop it! Stop saying ooh! Ooh! Aunt Rosa slapped Maria's left cheek with her palm. In that instant, Maria was shocked into silence. Of course, it was only for an instant. When Maria realized that her wish was being rejected, she started yelling even louder. Ooh, 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 my rose! My rose! Ooh, 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 ooh. Didn't I tell you to stop that weird habit? That's why all the kids in your class make fun of you. Cut it out! Once again, her palm slapped Maria's cheek. This time she didn't go silent. She choked as she started crying and began to bawl in an increasingly loud voice. Aunt Rosa was clearly irritated and lifted her hand once more to try and shut her daughter up. Aunt Rosa! No, she's just a little kid, so there's no reason to get so serious. I tried to cut in with a bitter smile, rubbing my hands together, but Aunt Rosa glared at me with a serious face, and I realized that I should have stayed out of this. I'm sorry, but could the rest of you go back to your room for a bit? I need to have a little talk with Maria. Ooh! Nobody believes in my rose! Even though it was here! Ooh! Look for it! Look for it! Here, it was here! Ooh! Ooh. But it's not here! So you must have confused this place for somewhere else, right? Ooh! It is here! It's definitely here! Ooh! 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 Then it disappeared. Give it up. Why? Why did it disappear? Why? Why? Ooh, ooh, ooh. I don't know that. So stop saying ooh, ooh. Aunt Rosa once again raised her hand, overcome by emotion, and slapped Maria's cheek. It was strong enough to knock Maria over. Hey, Aunt Rosa. Even if she is your daughter, violence isn't the answer. I stepped between them to protect Maria, who was still on the ground, crying ooh ooh. I knew that as an outsider, problems between parent and child were none of my business, but I wasn't brought up to just silently observe something like this. Don't you think it's weird, Battler-kun? Are there any girls at your school who mutter ooh ooh? Well, I am in high school. But for an elementary schooler, I think saying ooh ooh is pretty cute. Cute? Saying ooh ooh is cute? Cute? My careless words seemed to have earned me Aunt Rosa's wrath. She grabbed my collar with a terrifying expression. Don't say such nonsense! Do you know how old Maria is? She's 9! She's a 4th grader, not a kindergartner, but she still makes that sound during class! Don't you get it? Do you know what they say about this kid when they bully her? Thanks to this weird habit, she still hasn't made a single friend. Don't turn your eyes from reality and carelessly call Maria cute. Think more seriously about this kid's future. Ooh, 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 ooh. I told you, stop making that sound. Didn't I tell you to stop it? Aunt Rosa struck Maria's quivering head, from which an increasingly unhappy voice was rising. I tried to stop it, but Aunt Rosa pushed me away. My back hit George Aniki. A long time ago, Aunt Rosa also thought of it as nothing more than one of Maria-chan's baby words, but now that it hasn't been fixed even midway through elementary school, she's been worrying about it a lot. How she talks isn't really that big of a deal, right? She'll never make it as an adult if she's like that. So even though it isn't fun to watch, this is a problem between parent and child. Well, even I get chewed out by my mom all the time because of how I talk. When they put it like that, and maybe even a scene as painful as this isn't something an outsider like me should butt in on. Battler-kun, when you were a kid, didn't you have any bad habits you couldn't fix and that got you into trouble? Well, one or two. On Parents' Day once, I kept getting yelled at in front of everyone. It was embarrassing as all hell. Well, then you can understand how the two of them must feel right now. I'm sure they don't want us to be here now. You understand too, don't you, Jessica-chan? I don't think anyone likes to be seen when they're being scolded. Let's go. We'll return to the guest house. Then, after Maria-chan comes back, let's welcome her as if nothing happened. That's probably for the best, isn't it? We thought George Aniki's point was probably a reasonable one, and we may have been eager to use that reasonable-sounding argument as a justification to retreat from this heart-rending scene. Jessica and I nodded at George Aniki and we all left. Hydrating. Ooh-ooing. It's dehydrating, folks. We called toward Maria, telling her that we were going to head to the guest house, but she didn't seem to hear, and we felt sort of guilty and shameless after saying it. In that case, look by yourself as much by you... I can use words, folks. In that case, look by yourself as much as you want. Mama doesn't care. Ooh, I'll look for it. I'll look for it by myself. Even if Mama doesn't care. Ooh, 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 ooh. No, I'm not ooh-ooing. I am. I'm voicing the characters. Have it your way. After blasting her with those last few words, Rosa spun on her heels and quickly returned to the mansion. Maria probably viewed that as a cold gesture meant to injure, but that wasn't Rosa's intention. It was because the hand with which she had so emotionally struck Maria's cheek was still numb. It's because if she stayed there screaming, she might be taken over by her emotions and continue slapping her daughter's cheek over and over. And I think Battler's probably out of vision by now, so... Switching narrator. After Rosa left, Maria was left alone in the rose garden. The wind began to blow stronger and stronger, and every once in a while a raindrop would fall on her forehead. However, Maria couldn't leave that place, not until she found that poor wilting rose. It had definitely been there. Even so, it wasn't. Even though she knew the place, and even though it had been there, it wasn't. Maria stared bitterly at the place it was supposed to be and thought frantically. Maybe the angle I'm looking from is wrong. Maybe the height I'm looking from is wrong. While gazing at a single point, Maria repeatedly stood up, changed her position, and continued to stare. The wind was getting stronger and stronger. One second. Sorry. But Maria kept on looking for that rose in front of the flower bed. Ginzo noticed the sound of the raindrops beating on the window. It seemed to be pouring down thickly. It had begun to rain later than the weather report had predicted. Kenzo approached the window as if being summoned by the sound of the rain. The sound of rain is a sound of silence. That sound feels quieter than any silence, and makes humans remember that, in the end, they are alone from the moment they're born to the moment they die. You're late, Beatrice. Were those words directed at the rainy sky? There was no one to be seen in the direction of Kinzo's gaze. Well then, let us begin. Let us begin our banquet of miracles. This island has now been cut off from the world. Now there are none who can interrupt my ceremony. There are many fitting sacrifices for you. 4 of my children, 3 of their companions, 4 of my grandchildren, me and my guests and my servants. You may devour as many as you please. The key of fate will select the sacrifices in accordance with the demon's roulette. If that roulette chooses me, even I will become your sacrifice. However, because of that, because I will bet on such madness, I will most assuredly bring forth a grand miracle. Come, devour to your heart's content. I will achieve victory over that roulette. Yes, I'll put everything on the line. First, I'll return the inheritance of the Ushiromiya family. Accept it! Kinzo tore the window open, ripped a golden ring off his finger, and forcefully threw it away. At that time, the sound of thunder rang out, giving the illusion that the lightning had accepted the ring. And when you are resurrected, surely I will be the one who stands witness. I will survive until the end and watch over you as you awaken. So come, Beatrice! Welcome to my banquet! In exchange for all that I've created, show me another miracle just this once. Oh, Beatrice! A half hour later. At least I think it was a half hour. I wasn't really paying attention to where the clock started. A news ticker popped up on top of the TV program we were watching. The disaster report told how municipalities all over were continually sending out rain and flood and wave warnings. Of course, the raindrops beating harshly on the window were even more convincing. This rain's incredible. Still, when it's raining this hard, it also feels like it might stop at any moment. You wish. They said the typhoon's moving slow, so it might be like this all day tomorrow. And even a little bad weather stops the boats from coming. You wouldn't put... I'm sorry. That's actually kind of a catchphrase. I wouldn't put it past grandfather, so... that is brought up multiple times, so that tickled my funny bone, Ed Fan. Thank you for that. But yeah, no, I wouldn't put it past the grandfather who sacrificed his children to resurrect Beatrice. So. At least, not this early in the game. Later on, you'll find out for sure, though. Where was I? Yeah. And even a little bad weather stops the boats from coming. It looks like we won't be able to head out on Sunday after all. Just in case, I cleared away all outside business from my Monday schedule, and I'm glad I did. Which means, looks like we'll get to skip school Monday. Living on an island's starting to sound pretty good. Come to think of it, Jessica, you've got to take a boat to school every day, don't you? What do you do when the boats stop running? You stay home when it rains and show up late when the wind's blowing like King Kame... Kamehameha? If the boats don't come, I stay home. Still, it's not as good as it sounds. Usually I'm ordered to study by myself, and it's not that fun when someone's standing right behind you watching everything you do. During the rainy season, does the weather ever stay bad for a long time and make you miss a bunch of days in a row? That does happen sometimes. Still, I get a call from my homeroom teacher every day who'd sourly guide me on how I should teach myself and what I had to turn in. She can't skip school as easily as you're imagining Battler could. She's got to follow the rules for people to travel to school by boat and get a good amount of studying done. It'd actually be easier to just go to school. In my own room, I get distracted and can't concentrate. After being made to do nothing but workbooks for several days straight, it's pretty hard to handle all that mental stress. When I get into college, I just want to go to some dorm and quickly say goodbye to this inconvenient island. I thought that said salad for a moment. This inconvenient salad. Need to hydrate again. Hold on. You could see salad too? Okay. By the way, what do you do when the weather's good in the morning, but then gets so bad on your way home that the boats are closed? Do you spend the night at school? That actually happens a lot. Because of that, they built some lodgings there for people who can't get back to the island they live on. That's where you'd spend the night. Sometimes when it gets really bad, you can't get home for a few days at a time. Someone commuting to school or work on a train packed to twice its capacity might carelessly think that commuting by boat would be pretty interesting and fun. But it sounds like it comes with troubles of its own. You hear thoughtless tourists saying stuff like that all the time. I've had enough of island life. I really just want to graduate high school and say goodbye to this island. And this salad. But there are all dorm schools even for high school, right? Why'd you choose that Nijima school of all places? I wanted to go to one of those from the beginning. But Mom's always going on about how I need to learn manners and discipline as a successor. So I ended up sticking close to home even for high school. Man, I hate this island. I just want to go live in a city. I don't care if it rains or even if spears fall from the sky, as long as I can move to a city where I can wear casual clothes and sandals. And can get to a convenience store in less than 5 minutes. Hold out just a little longer. Just a bit more and you'll graduate high school, right? I can't wait just a little longer. Jessica stretched out and reclined in the sofa. Maybe it was a bad time slot because there weren't any interesting programs on, and we had nothing to do but languidly kill time until we were called for dinner. After that episode, Maria never returned to the cousin's room after all. Aunt Rosa probably took her back to the mansion. It had to be pretty boring for Maria all by herself while the adults had a confusing conversation. We thought we might as well head over to the mansion to see her, but the weather really was awful. And since there wasn't much time until dinner, we stayed where we were. At that time, we heard the sound of a humble knock. Jessica answered. Yes? The preparations for dinner are complete. Please come to the mansion. It was Canon-kun's voice. Did he go to all the trouble of coming from the mansion in this rain just to get us? Couldn't he have just called us on the telephone? Yeah, well, I guess servants at work don't always get to take the most efficient route. Just when I was getting hungry. Let's go. George Aniki turned off the television and stood up. My stomach's been growling for a while. I've always been a huge fan of the main family's dinners. Didn't Goto-san say it was calf steak or something? Oh, I can't wait. Our dinners are always even more fabulous than usual when the family conference comes around. Even I'm looking forward to it. Let's go, let's go. As we left the room, Canon-kun bowed silently and respectfully. Okay, let's go. Is the rain pretty nasty out there? Yes. Take care not to get your garments wet. After seeing the three of us out, Canon-kun peered into the empty room. Wasn't Maria-sama with you? No, she's not. Wasn't she with Aunt Rosa? Rosa was lying on a sofa in the empty parlor having... Wait. I'm going to assume Battler's not here yet, so... Rosa was lying on a sofa in the empty parlor, having fallen asleep before she knew it. She was bearing a burden that the children couldn't even imagine. That's why she only needed to let her guard down a little before the weariness immediately dragged her into the world of sleep. Realizing this, Genji brought a blanket over to her. Mansions are creepy. And thank you, Reeve. Glad to see you here. Creepy blanket. Realizing this, Genji brought a blanket over to her. When he tried to spread it over her, her eyes snapped open as though she'd been shocked with electricity. Oh, it's you, Genji-san. Thank you. When she realized that the thing that had touched her was just a blanket and that Genji had been considerately giving it to her, she let out a sigh of relief. Did I wake you? My sincere apologies. No, it's okay. I hadn't planned on sleeping in the first place. What time is it now? When he was asked for the time, Genji checked a pocket watch that he took out of his chest pocket. It is slightly after 6. Goodness. I feel like my mouth gets drier on this one than it does on some others. Or maybe that's just the tea. I don't know. Maybe I'll try the tea as a mid-stream break thing next time. Anyway. Rosa gave her head a little shake when she realized that not much time had actually passed, even though it had felt like she'd slept for ages. Even though she didn't feel rested at all, the drowsiness that had enveloped her must have been pretty deep. Thank you. I'll be fine without the blanket. I mustn't sleep at such a strange time. My sense of time has been completely thrown off. The rain has finally started pouring down in earnest, hasn't it? Yeah, I'm hydrating with water. That's what I'm doing. I specifically do not have the hydrate redemption because I don't have a camera, and so I can't necessarily prove that I've hydrated. Any noises I make to prove such things can easily be called into question, so... Rosa finally realized that the peaceful sound that had put her to sleep was actually the rain. Stretch? All right. All right, I will adjust my seat for you. I kind of need to do it anyway. Okay. There we go. The wind's blowing hard, too. I wonder if the typhoon's finally here.
That's what they said on TV. The typhoon's moving slowly, so they think it'll be like this all day tomorrow.
Really? So our last chance to see that wonderful rose garden must have already passed by. From the window, what she could see of the rose garden was completely blurred by the wind and the rain. Maria. That's right! What about Maria?
I have not seen her. Did she not return to the guest house?
Rosa knew her daughter's nature well, so a chill ran down her spine. Maria was stubbornly honest, and if she was ordered to find something that didn't exist, she would look forever and ever, even in pouring rain. No, the cousins left before I did, so Maria was alone. Unless someone told her to stop, she'd stay there even if it started raining spears, without even opening on the umbrella. How could I have lost control of my emotions and done such a thing? Even though she'd known about Maria's simple honesty better than anyone, she'd once again lost control of her emotions and done something terrible. Maria! Rosa pushed Genji away and ran down the hall. The outside really looked like a typhoon, and the rain was pouring down spectacularly. Maybe because of some aspect of the terrain, the winds weren't typhoon class, so an umbrella wouldn't be torn out of one's hands. Even so, it was certainly a windy rain. There was no time to admire the roses being drenched. Anyway, I'm getting pretty worried about Maria. You don't think she's still rebelliously searching for that rose alone, do you? I wonder. Surely she wouldn't do it in this rain. Or at least I wish I could believe that, but Maria-chan sometimes gets really stubborn and intensely straightforward. We hadn't worried much, thinking that Aunt Rosa had taken her back to the mansion. However, when Kanon-kun had come from the mansion to call us and thought Maria was here, we got a little worried. I did not see her in the mansion, so I was sure she was here. After all, Rosa-sama was taking a nap. You didn't see her on her way over here? On your way over here? My apologies. I opened my umbrella and ran as fast as I could, so I did not pay much attention. If he had cut through the rose garden, taking the shortest line between the mansion and the guest house, then he would have just barely missed the place where Maria had been looking for her rose. And it was raining this hard, too. It certainly would have been possible for Kanon-kun to fail to notice her. And instead of arguing around here, it'd be faster to just check it out directly. Nikki, why don't we race over there? Oh, you think you could beat me now that you've been growing for 6 years? Okay, let's settle this. Go! George, Aniki, and I flew out into the rain. Jessica and Kanon-kun followed us. Maria! If you're there, answer me! Maria! It's Aunt Rosa. Hey, Aunt Rosa! When George Aniki called back, Aunt Rosa jumped at him and grabbed onto him. Where's Maria? Isn't she with you? No, we didn't meet with Maria-chan after that. Maria! 6 years ago, Maria had been 3 years old. She was a cute and pure kid who'd just accept whatever anyone said. But 6 years have passed since then. She's 9 now, and experiencing the ups and downs of life should have taught her something. But Maria, are you still telling me you're as innocent and pure as you used to be? Maria! As I circled the rosebed, something white unexpectedly turned to face me. It was a white umbrella. Maria was crouching down, holding a white umbrella and still searching for that rose. Ooh. Her face, which had turned bright red from her crying her eyes out, was dirty with water and mud. It was truly a pitiful sight. Maria, are you still looking? Ooh, can't find it. Can't find my rose. Ooh. Maria had probably been here since the rain started pouring down. Her shoulders were freezing. She looked tired to the bone, but fortunately, since she was holding an umbrella, she wasn't completely soaked. The umbrella probably came from the handbag Maria always carried around. Thank goodness. Seriously, thank goodness. Battler-kun! Oh, thank goodness you found her. Maria! I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Aunt Rosa threw her umbrella aside and hugged Maria. Ooh, it's not here. My rose isn't here. Ooh. I'll look for it with you later. Okay? So just put it on hold for today. Okay? Ooh. Put it on hold for today. It looked like Maria still wasn't able to accept it, but she no longer had enough energy left to resist. Jessica and Kanon-kun caught up with us. I'll have a towel ready in the mansion immediately. Maria, were you here this whole time? I'm sorry. I'm sorry for being such a bad mother. And Rosa, why don't we head back to the mansion for the time being? If we stay here, Maria will catch a cold. You're right. Maria, let's go. If we don't get you cleaned up, Grandfather would be mad. Ooh, hungry. It's already time to eat. You did a good job holding out, Maria. Once the weather gets better, we'll all go search together. We couldn't stay in the rain forever. We took Maria with us as we headed back to the mansion. Maria apparently wasn't as worn out as I thought. When she remembered we were having calf steak for dinner, she started chanting, I'm hungry, ooh, ooh, and returned to her usual spirited self. Aunt Rosa didn't chide Maria for saying ooh, ooh. I see. So she had an umbrella on her. Maria sure is good at packing the right stuff. Ooh. I didn't bring an umbrella. Ooh. What? Then how'd you get that white umbrella you're holding? Ooh. I borrowed it. Some caring person must have brought her an umbrella. A normal kid would look for shelter once it started raining, but Maria was too stubborn to give up so easily. So maybe that caring person gave up on telling Maria to find shelter and decided to at least give her an umbrella. I see. I'll have to thank that person. Who was it? Who? Beatrice! The name Maria cheerfully mentioned was that of the island's witch. Rosa took a deep breath and asked again, trying to do so in a way that wouldn't damage Maria's good mood. Really? That's wonderful. So who was it? Who brought you that umbrella? Ooh, Beatrice! Ooh! Maria immediately realized that her mother didn't believe her and started crying out unhappily again. So Rosa stopped pursuing the subject. It'd probably be faster to ask whoever lent Maria the umbrella during dinner rather than ask Maria herself.
Father, please at least join us for dinner. It won't be a family conference otherwise.
You wonder if Beatrice took the rose as well? That's a interesting possibility. Anyway, along with a dull pounding on the door, the sound of Krause's entreaty could be heard. However, that voice seemed to be resigned to the fact that nothing it said would be heard.
Kinzo-san, won't you at least come out for dinner? All your children have gathered here to see your face, haven't they?
Silence, Nanjo. So the bishop won't work. One move too short. Apparently, Kinzo was completely focused on the final battle of his long-lasting chess match with Nanjo. Kinzo's brow was wrinkled as he continued to glare at the game board through his spectacles. Krause's voice didn't reach his ears. Yeah, that is true. They did mention the disappearance of things earlier. It's a good theory. Oh, great. Water went down the wrong tube. Lovely.
Kinzo-san, I'm hungry myself. Why don't we go down and eat?
Go by yourself if that's what you want. Let me consider this next move for a little longer. We're going to finish it tonight. Otherwise, it's doubtful we'll finish before the world ends. Nanjo rose from his seat, hoping this would prompt Kinzo to do the same, but Kinzo's eyes never left the chessboard. He knew well that Kinzo always displayed a blind concentration when it came to chess, but he'd never seen Kinzo concentrate as hard as this. It was almost as though Kinzo was telling the truth, and there would never be another chance for them to continue their contest if they didn't finish tonight. It seemed that no matter how obstinately he called out to Kinzo, it wouldn't reach the latter's heart. Nanjo gave up and headed to the door that Krause was still banging on. The door to the study opened. Krause was taken aback, thinking that maybe Kinzo was actually coming out. However, Nanjo was the one who appeared, and Krause let out a sigh of relief.
Dr. Nanjo, is father... I'm sorry I couldn't be of service. Right now, this room is Kinzo-san's whole world.
Nanjo shook his head with a completely defeated expression. Krause raised his fist once more and banged on the door, shouting. Not sure, but it seems that if the rose was white, it's not a difficult leap to assume that Beatrice must have transformed the rose into an umbrella, but that's just a fan theory. Well, I mean, if her magic is capable of doing that, it wouldn't be a very large leap at all. Of course, that also raises the question, was the rose white? Because I think they only mentioned it was wilting before.
Father, can you hear me? We're heading down now, but please join us anytime you feel like it. All your children are waiting for you.
His voice was very loud, and he was making a racket pounding on the door. There was no way it wouldn't reach Kinzo's ears. Well, it certainly was reaching him, but he ignored it anyway. However, unlike the time he'd been called down for lunch, he didn't fly into a rage. By now, Kinzo was calm at heart, almost as though he'd taken on a philosophical view and turned himself over to fate. Neither dinner nor the faces of my children interest me in the slightest. I will only leave here if Beatrice is resurrected, or if I am chosen as a sacrifice for the key. The demon's roulette has already started spinning. What meaning does dinner have at this point? As though the painfully loud banging on the door completely failed to enter his hearing, Kinzo silently thought about his next chess move, still in his philosophical state. Just as always, Kinzo's figure couldn't be seen anywhere in the dining hall. Kraus, wearing a bitter smile, returned with Nanjo.
Father says he's still not feeling well. He truly regrets missing this once-a-year opportunity to sit together with his gathered family.
I'm okay. Eva and Rudolph sniggered. Given Kinzo's personality, there was no way he'd showed signs of regret. And none of his relatives showed any regret at his absence.
Then why don't we start dinner? Goda, begin. Certainly. Well then, if you'll allow me.
When Goda was told to start the family conference dinner, his biggest time to shine of the whole year, he nodded with a broad grin. May I ask who lent Maria an umbrella? When Rosa timidly cut through the silence of the dining hall, everyone noticed. An umbrella? What is this about? A short while back, Maria was in the rose garden when it started raining, and she apparently borrowed a white umbrella for someone. I wanted to thank them. Wasn't one of us. After you left, we moved to a different room and had a friendly chat the whole time. That's right. Even after that, the siblings had a real friendly chat. I mean, the word friendly fell awkwardly from Hideyoshi's lips, so even those who hadn't been present could tell the conversation hadn't been a pleasant one.
At the very least, it couldn't have been me, Ava, Rudolph, Hideyoshi-san, or Kirie-san.
We were together the whole time, even after Natsuhine-san and Rosa-san left. The whole time until the meal started. Nii-san went up to the study with Genji-san to call father. At that time, the rest of us went straight to the dining hall. So it wasn't one of us. Couldn't it have been a servant kind enough to lend an umbrella? So, was it you, Goda-san? Really? You're asking Goda-san if he was the servant kind enough to lend the umbrella. Okay. I have been in the kitchen the whole time preparing. My sincere apologies. Goda looked slightly disappointed about missing this chance to show off. At that time, Shannon and Kumasawa appeared, pushing a serving cart loaded with hors d'oeuvres. Then what about Kumasawa-san or Shannon-chan? Yes? Has something gone wrong? Because Shannon had come in part way, she shrank back, mistakenly thinking that the others were searching for the one responsible for some error. It isn't like that. It started to rain when Maria-chan was alone in the rose garden. After that, someone lent her an umbrella. Aunt Rosa said she wanted to thank that person. Ooh, Beatrice. Maria, her mouth a thin line, said the witch's name in a small voice. Aunt Rosa explained the situation one more time. As she did, Kumasawa-san cackled. Oh, it wasn't us. Shannon-san and I were preparing the rooms together, so we did not go outside. Yes, I'm sorry I wasn't able to be of assistance.
Preparing the rooms? What do you mean by that?
Because of the rain, we thought it would be troublesome for all of the guests to return to the guest house. So the servants were ordered to prepare the guest rooms inside the mansion. Really? How thoughtful. Yes, it certainly would be rude to chase us outside in this rain. Could you give it a rest? Yes. After receiving the order from Madam, Kumasawa-san, Kanon-kun, and I started preparing the rooms. Then it became time for dinner. So Genji-sama ordered Ken-kun to go to the guest house and summon the children. Yes. So did Ken-kun find Maria on the way to the guest house and hand her the umbrella? Ooh, wrong! The person who had actually received the umbrella denied it. Rosa was troubled. All she wanted to do was give a word of thanks to the person who had lent the umbrella, but she couldn't find them. And she thought asking like this with everyone gathered for dinner would work immediately. Then, was it you, Natsuhine-san? I'm sorry. After everyone's friendly chat, my headache was so bad that I've been resting in my room. And therefore, I did not go outside. Then, who was it? George-kun and the kids? That can't be right. No, it wasn't us. We were watching television in the guest house the whole time. Actually, we thought Maria had just gone back to the mansion with you. Then Ken-kun came and he asked whether Maria was with us. That's when we first realized she wasn't in the mansion. I mean, if it were me, I'd have grabbed her hand and pulled her under a roof before giving her an umbrella. Rosa was completely baffled. One by one, the relatives and the servants denied that they had done it, even though it wasn't really something anyone would need to hide. So by process of elimination, the number of remaining candidates wasn't large.
Of course it wasn't me. Right after it began raining, I visited Kinzo-san's room and I was playing with chess with him until now.
Which means that it also wasn't grandfather. Wait a sec. Isn't this starting to get a bit weird? Who's left? Then who was it? Genji-san? Huh? Wait a second, don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm searching for some culprit or anything. All I want to do is, as a mother, thank the person who gave Maria an umbrella in the middle of the rain. Giving an umbrella to a girl loitering in the rain was something to be praised, not hidden. Despite that, no one raised their hand. Why not? Everyone started whispering about how strange this was getting. Calm down, Rosa. Why don't we just ask the person who was lent the umbrella? That's what everyone had been thinking since the beginning. They were all scratching their heads at why she didn't just ask Maria, who had been given the umbrella. However, Rosa bit her lower lip. After all, she already knew how Maria would answer if asked. Of course! Rudolph-kun's here's got it right. Maria-chan, tell your uncle. Who lent you the umbrella? Beatrice! The dining hall was wrapped in silence for an instant, but it was soon interrupted by a burst of laughter.
I see. So Beatrice, the Witch of the Forest, felt pity and lent her an umbrella. What a lovely story. Rosa, there you have it. Rosa couldn't believe it. Even though she just wanted to say thanks for the umbrella, why did everything have to be so clouded in smoke?
Ooh, just like Uncle Kraus said. Beatrice let me borrow it. Ooh.
Isn't that wonderful? We should all be jealous of such purity. What do you think, everyone? Kraus was laughing with a face that was clearly mocking, but Maria was overjoyed, apparently convinced that her claim was being believed.
How did that work? Does that mean a witch really appeared and lent her an umbrella? Jessica asked me in a small voice that wouldn't carry over to Maria, who was sitting across from me. Has Maria ever been the type to make jokes? If we'd heard that kind of story pop out of my old bastard's mouth, we would have just taken it as another joke. However, it was hard to explain it away like that when Maria said it. This was getting pretty unnerving. No way. She's always been frank and serious. She's the sort who'd believe any joke, even ones normal people could instantly tell were lies. I've never even heard of her cracking a joke. Aunt Rosa probably knew that better than anyone. It appeared that because of this weird situation, she had no idea what was going on anymore. So, if Maria says she borrowed an umbrella from Beatrice, that must mean it really was Beatrice? We're talking about Maria here, so I can't think of it as some kind of metaphor or a joke. It might be best to take what she says at face value. Then what's going on? Are you saying Genji-san or someone put on that fancy dress from the portrait and gave Maria the umbrella? I'm not sure about that. Actually, that's what I want to know. Jessica shrugged jokingly, but her expression didn't completely match her attitude. Once the hors d'oeuvres were set out and Goda showed off his vast store of knowledge, the meal began. A couple of casual chats broke out here and there, but they seemed somehow distant, and the meal ended up being so quiet that you couldn't ignore the sound of the rain sneaking into the dining hall. Is the sound of the rain sneaking into the dining hall, or is the rain sneaking into the dining hall and making a sound? Asking for a friend. Kumasawa and Shannon, pushing the serving cart, ran into Genji and Cannon on their way to the kitchen. Oh, it's Genji-san. Did you lend Maria-san an umbrella?
An umbrella? What are you talking about?
Well, I heard that when it started raining, Maria-sama was alone in the rose garden. It seems she borrowed an umbrella from someone there, but we don't know who it was. It wasn't me. After all, I actually thought Maria-sama was in the guest house. When Battler-sama first found her, she was already holding a white umbrella.
My apologies, but it was not me either.
Then you don't think it was the master?
Both in the dining hall and right here, everyone had stated that they hadn't done it. That only left Kinzo, but...
Maybe he went walking down the corridor for some reason, when he just happened to see Maria-sama in the rose garden without even an umbrella.
The master is not particularly fond of Maria-sama.
I agree. I can't imagine that for Maria's sake he'd go to all the trouble of descending the stairs with an umbrella. Oh my, how troublesome. Does that mean the one who lent Maria-sama an umbrella really was Beatrice-sama?
Kumasawa laughed, just like the relatives in the dining hall who had laughed it off. She couldn't think of any other way to break through the smoke veiling the current situation. Just then, the crisp sound of hands clapping twice rang through the hallway. They all turned around at once to see Goda coming out of the dining hall. Okay, everyone. When serving a dinner, proper timing while setting the table is essential. Please immediately see to setting out the soup. Genji-san, the women are in the middle of an important job, so please don't get in their way. Cannon glared at Goda for being rude to Genji, a person Cannon respected. Genji, realizing this, patted Cannon once on the shoulder as a warning. Cannon reluctantly turned away and returned to his expression to normal. Obey Goda's instructions. Hurry and prepare the dinner table. Come now, there's no time. Don't dawdle. Hurry! Goda grabbed the serving cart from Shannon and steadily pushed it towards the kitchen.
Then please allow us to return to the kitchen. After all, Goda-san's temper is very short. Please excuse me as well.
Kumasawa and Shannon left. Only Genji and Cannon remained. Through the window, the darkness of the rainy night could be seen, along with the occasional thunderbolt.
Genji-sama, did Beatrice-sama really return?
I don't know.
Shall I inform the master?
That is not necessary. If she truly has returned, she will eventually appear before the master of her own accord. Furthermore, she is a fickle person. It would be pointless to report to the master only to find out that she does not appear.
I wonder if this means the master's ceremony has already begun.
Probably. However, that has nothing to do with furniture like us. We must continue to return the favor we received from the master until our final moments.
Yes, that is furniture's duty.
The thunder crashed once more. Except for those instants when the lightning lit up the sky, nothing could be seen out the window but the darkness of night. Just as humans rule when the sun is up, those who are not human rule when the sun is down. The darkness of night that now surrounded Rokkenjima was ruled by another master, not the Ushiromiya family. Did this master take pity on Maria when she was alone and being pummeled by the rain in the rose garden, lending her an umbrella? Cannon looked at the rose garden's lights, dimly visible beyond the window. The dim lights weren't enough to illuminate the surrounding area. Looking at those lights felt like making eye contact with the witch, and Cannon forced himself to avert his gaze. If it didn't, it felt like his eyes would be absorbed by that light.
Hydration time. Can the weather change how people act? You often hear stories about how things like atmospheric pressure can influence people's moods and physical health. For some time now, everyone had been struggling to clear the gloomy atmosphere, but any conversation was quickly cut off, and in the end, the dining hall was simply filled by the sound of the rain. Dessert was some kind of chocolate cake accompanied by pear sherbet. Goda-san enthusiastically explained the recipe as soon as his final dish was presented, but I quickly forgot the details. The guest of honor, grandfather, was absent, the weather was horrible, and the identity of the one who'd lent Maria an umbrella remained a mystery. When the dinner ended, no one felt even one bit refreshed. It was too late now, but I realized painfully that taste wasn't the only important part of a meal. The whole atmosphere was also critical. Goda-san, the supposed conductor of this musical piece called Dinner, did his best to enliven the place, dropping little jokes left and right, but apparently not one of them succeeded. After taking orders for after-dinner coffee, tea, and orange juice, he left for the kitchen. As soon as he disappeared, Uncle Kraus spoke.
My. What a waste that the dinner Goda worked so hard to create is met with such a gloomy atmosphere.
Yes, absolutely. It just feels like nothing would taste good today.
Oh? I'd like to know why you feel that way. Later on, I'll do all I can as your older brother to help cheer you up.
Aunt Eva grimaced slightly. I had already heard she wasn't on good terms with Uncle Kraus, but it was pretty clear now. When I looked around, I noticed that my father and Aunt Rosa were also grimacing. Apparently, there was something besides the weather troubling all of them. Both Aunt Eva and my dad aren't looking too happy. Really? I don't think so. I asked Aunt Natsu, who was sitting on my right, but she seemed to be in a bad mood as well. She snapped back as if to say she was absolutely not interested. Well, our adult conversation got a little complicated. It isn't something kids like you need to worry about, Battler-kun. Isn't that right, Natsu-san? Kyrie-san? Uncle Hideyoshi laughed as he spoke, but without his usual brightness, so I could vaguely imagine just how complicated their adult conversation had become. On top of that, even Aunt Natsuhi and Kyrie-san, the people he had directed his comment to, ignored him as though they hadn't heard anything. I didn't know what kind of conversation they'd been having while us kids were away, but it reminded me of how Dad said he had stomach cramps when we arrived at the mansion. The family conference might have been a playful reunion to us kids, but it was definitely different for the adults. After Uncle Hideyoshi's comment was ignored by the other adults and an awkward silence fell over the room, Kyrie-san spoke up. We were talking about how the kids' careers would turn out, such as what lies in your future, Battler-kun. Will you just drift on to college? Wouldn't that be a little disheartening as a starting line for the long race of life? Hey, wait a sec. Curious, son, if you start talking about something like that in the middle of a meal, it won't digest well, and we'll all end up getting constipated. That's right. We were talking about Battler-kun and Jessica-chan's careers. You gotta think seriously about the future. Hideyoshi heartily agreed as if they really had been talking about that, but that was probably wrong. Kyrie-san had obviously been trying to change the subject. However, if Kyrie-san had determined that this was the best course of action for now, then she was probably right. Taking this into account, I cast aside my suspicions as to the cause behind Aunt Eva and Dad's bad moods. At long last, a serving cart returned, filled with coffee and tea. Kumasawa-san and Shannon-chan served it to everyone. Goda-san then explained that this concluded tonight's meal. If only the mood had been a bit more cheery, it might have been the best dinner of my life. It was a shame that this best of dinners couldn't have been had under the best conditions. Ooh, George Oni-chan, is dinner over now? Over? Yes. With this, dinner is finished. Don't be rude. Stay in your seat and calmly drink up. Ooh. Maria looked like she was really excited by the occasionally crashing thunder. Maybe she wanted to quickly finish eating and run over to the window. She had been fidgeting for a while, waiting for the meal to end. Some people are afraid of thunder, while others find it interesting, and Maria was apparently one of the latter sort. Therefore, when she heard from George Aniki that dinner was over, a huge smile broke across her face. She then rose from her seat, took out her handbag, which she'd set under her seat, never having left it even while she was eating, and began fishing around inside of it. No one seemed particularly concerned by this behavior. What's that? Where did you get it? George was the first to notice it. As he spoke, Battler noticed too. They saw that Maria was now holding a beautiful Western-style envelope. On the front of the envelope, the Ushiromiya family crest, the one-winged eagle, was done in gold leaf. Furthermore, the fact that it was sealed with dark red wax made it clear that this wasn't something Maria could have brought as a prank. Maria-chan, what is that? It seemed that Natsuhi had also noticed the strangeness of the envelope Maria was holding. Her voice sounded too serious for something admonishing a small child, so the relatives around us finally noticed too. What happened, Natsuhine-san? What is that? Maria, where did you pick that up?
That envelope has Kinzo-san's...
When Nanjo muttered that, even us kids could understand why everyone seemed to be frozen solid. The envelope that Maria held was one of the Ushiromiya family head's custom-made envelopes for private use. In other words, it could only mean one thing. This envelope contained a message from Kinzo.
Oh? What is an envelope like that doing here?
Now that's an interesting thing to come jumping out at us. Just let me have a peek. Ooh. No way, I'll read it. I was told to read it to everyone. Uncle Hideyoshi tried to snatch the envelope from Maria's hands, but she protected it as though hugging it, and didn't let go. Hideyoshi-san, you can't use force against a child. Maria-chan, where did you get this envelope? Ooh, I got it from Beatrice when she gave me the umbrella. She told me to read it to everyone after the meal was over. I'm the witch's messenger. Ooh. Messenger? The almighty witch of the island sure likes to mess around. Battler tried to joke about it, but no one laughed. I wonder what's written inside of it, Maria-chan. Ooh, gonna read it. Ooh. Maria casually opened the envelope. It was sealed only with wax, so she just had to remove the sealing wax to open it. That sealing wax fell onto the desk. Hideyoshi hastily picked it up and stared fixedly at it. He then set it in the center of the table where Natsuhi, Kirie, and Nanjo stared at it. Imprinted into the sealing wax was the one-winged eagle, which was the Ushiromiya family crest, and also Kinzo's personal crest. This is the family head's personal crest.
I know it from the letters I've received from Kinzo-san before. Without a doubt, this is his wax seal.
But aren't there several things in the mansion bearing that crest? For example, if there was some kind of stamp for wax seals, couldn't someone other than Kinzo-san have used it?
No, Kinzo-san would always use a ring on his finger. His proof of the Ushiromiya family headship when he sealed the wax. This shape and complex design is definitely Kinzo-san's seal. That is not necessarily so. Anyone in the family must have received a letter from father at least once. We can't eliminate the possibility that someone has used that wax as a model to create a fake seal and pass themselves off as father. I agree with Aniki. No matter how much the seal resembles Dad's, we can't prove that it's the real thing. So it doesn't prove this envelope came from him.
I absolutely agree. I cannot approve of arbitrarily deciding that this letter came from Father based solely on the wax seal. Dr. Nanjo, couldn't you use a bit more discretion with your vague words?
I apologize. It was not my place to speak. One after another, all the siblings from Kraus on downwards rejected Nanjo's statements, saying that the envelope Maria held wasn't necessarily from Kinzo. They were afraid. They feared from the bottom of their hearts that Kinzo's intentions were written in there, and that it might be some announcement regarding the inheritance that would be decidedly unfavorable to them.
Maria, the person who gave you that envelope was the same person who lent you that umbrella, right? Ooh! I don't know what ooh means. Is it true? Ooh. Yes. Ooh. So in other words, the witch, Beatrice, gave Maria-chan that envelope along with the umbrella? Ooh! Maria nodded forcefully. I agree with my husband. It's a dubious letter handed over by some suspicious person. It isn't even worth reading. There's nothing wrong with just reading it, right?
Battler said it to Jessica in a small voice, trying to act tough, but Natsuhi heard him clearly and glared at him with threatening eyes.
And then... Beatrice told you to read it after the meal was over, right, Maria? Ooh! It's okay, everyone. This envelope didn't come from Grandfather, but from Beatrice. Regardless of who actually wrote it, why can't we just hear what's inside before we decide?
That's right. Or even if Father didn't necessarily write it, I'd still like to know what's written inside. Maria-chan, I'm sorry I tried to take it from you by force earlier. I apologize. Will you read it aloud in front of everyone?
Maria, read it. Ooh.
As all the relatives stared fiercely at Maria, she spread the letter open with a rustle. Do you think it really did come from Dad? Impossible. Whenever Father has announced something to us in the past, he would always send Genji if he didn't do it directly, correct? I cannot believe he would use such a joke-like approach.
That's right. Maria, a messenger? That definitely doesn't suit Father's tastes.
Okay, for the record, these words in the
Angle brackets, those are English loan words, so they're actually speaking English, so if I'm saying it with a slight accent, that's why. It's to differentiate it from the rest of the dialogue. Okay, so that definitely doesn't suit Father's tastes. Rosa, could this be Maria-chan trying to surprise us by putting on some kind of show? Maria isn't really a kid who'd be capable of something so thoughtful. Oh, just casually insult your kid like that. Gonna read it. Ooh.
The words came out of Maria's mouth, but for some reason her voice seemed different than usual. Everyone went suddenly silent.
Welcome to Rokkenjima, members of the Ushiromiya family. I am Beatrice, the alchemist for this family, employed by Kinzo-sama himself.
That's crazy!
Quiet! I have served him for many years in accordance with our contract, but on this day Kinzo-sama has announced the final suspension of that contract. Therefore, I ask that you acknowledge my resignation from the position of family alchemist from this day forth.
How foolish. What nonsense.
I can't stand to listen to it. And now there is one part of the contract that must be explained to all present. I, Beatrice, lent Kinzo-sama a vast quantity of gold under certain terms. One of these terms specifies that all of the gold is to be returned to me upon the termination of the contract. Furthermore, I am to receive everything of the Ushiromiya family as interest.
Ridiculous!
It's been ridiculous from the very beginning. So it's basically one of those things, right? Doesn't it just sound just like one of those contracts with the devil? The contract has expired, so they've come to collect the interest? She tried to grab some retirement money for her old age or something? What a cheeky witch. Battler-kun, now isn't the time to joke around. Battler made a face as if to ask, if I can't make fun of this, what can I make fun of? Some of the adults' faces were pale, while others looked dazed. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. This is true. You have no idea. After hearing this, you may feel as though Kinzo-sama has been savagely ruthless. However, Kinzo-sama did append a special clause to the contract so that you would have a chance to preserve your wealth and honor. If, and only if, that special clause is fulfilled, I will lose my rights to the gold and the interest for all eternity. A special clause? What is it? Special clause. Beatrice retains the right to collect the gold and accumulated interest upon the termination of the contract. However, if someone is able to discover the hidden gold of this contract, Beatrice must abandon these rights for all time. The collection of the interest will proceed shortly, but if any one of you fulfills the terms of the special clause, I shall return everything, including the portion that has already been collected. Furthermore, as the first step in this collection of Kinzo-sama's debt, I have taken possession of the Ushiromiya family head's ring, which signifies the passage of the Ushiromiya family headship from one individual to another. I ask that you confirm this for yourselves by examining the imprint on the wax seal.
Are they trying to claim that that's the meaning behind the seal? That father would relinquish his ring is unthinkable! Grouse stared at the sealing wax as if trying to burn a hole through it. Eva and Rudolph were doing the same over his shoulder. Come to think of it, when we were playing chess, I did have a strange feeling that something was missing from Kinzo-san's finger.
Wait a minute. I need to go back and examine this further, but I can't remember now. Was it... Did he take off the ring before or after Nanjo left? Or was it before Nanjo even joined him? Dr. Nanjo! Don't say something so careless just because of a vague memory! We can't prove its authenticity here. Only by asking Father directly can we determine whether he really handed over his ring and whether this letter tells the truth. That's right. It's just as Kyrie-san says.
Do you really think Kinzo-san will tell you? After all, that person's thoughts sometimes surpass the bounds of common sense. No matter what happens, it's still nonsense. In the first place, the illusion of gold itself is one of Father's tricks.
I wanted to say it was before something. I do remember him throwing out the ring out the window and the lightning accepting it. Yeah, I remember that. So when Kraus is banging on the door before Nanjo went in, I believe. Okay. Yeah, I will look at that later to be sure. Definitely.
I've already heard enough talk of that gold from the rest of you.
But this is the witch speaking, right? About how the inheritance and all the assets will be handed over to the one who finds the gold, right? So maybe Beatrice-sama is Father's legal advisor and in charge of his funds. We can't possibly trust some strange person who entrusts such a suspicious paper to a child. Aniki, we need you to be frank with us. Is it possible Dad's assets are being managed by someone you don't know?
No, that's impossible. As a family head's representative, I control all of Father's assets. It should be impossible for anyone to do as they please with them without me knowing it.
So this must mean there are some assets you don't control, right, Kraus-ni-san?
How foolish! Such assets could not possibly exist!
Oh, but there is such a thing. An asset of father's that you don't control. There's no way such a thing could exist.
No, it does. It's father's... No, Beatrice's hidden gold.
Let's keep it simple. In short, Dad had some trusted confidant that Aniki doesn't even know about. Furthermore, this person has always been in charge of watching and managing the gold. Or could it be some eccentric rich person who offered him a loan with rules like a devil's contract? Could it be that this confidant, called Beatrice, is trying to test which of Kinzo's children is most worthy to be financed by her gold?
Kirie's question was one that all the siblings wanted answered. Upon reflection, they realized that Kinzo's strange epitaph had hung in the hall beneath the witch's portrait for quite some time, and while it had been long whispered that whoever solved the puzzle would receive everything, no one had ever clearly stated it. It was just something that everyone had hoped might be true. And right here, right now, the thing that they'd hoped for had been clearly stated in Beatrice's letter. It clearly specified that everything of the Ushiromiya family would be given to the one who found the gold.
Kinzo-sama has already publicly displayed the location of the hidden gold within the epitaph under my portrait. The rules apply equally to all who can read the epitaph. If you discover the gold, I shall return everything to you. Tonight, I ask that you enjoy your battle of wits with Kinzo-sama to the fullest. I sincerely pray that this night will be both intellectual and elegant. Beatrice the Golden.
Father, I know you can hear me. Please respond. The door to Kinzo's study was being violently, harshly beaten against over and over like a percussion instrument. The yells coming from the other side belonged to Kraus, Rudolph, and sometimes Eva. It was the siblings who were trying to intrude upon Kinzo's study to question him about the truth behind that mysterious letter. Kinzo was eating. An elegant tablecloth was set over the desk, and the fabulous dinner that had adorned the table down in the dining hall was reproduced here. Kinzo continued his meal in silence. Shannon, taking away an empty plate, looked uncomfortably between the door being pounded on and Kinzo's face.
Everyone is calling for you, but what should I do?
Leave them. God and my meals both hold silence as a virtue. Should I silence them? There's no need. It does not even reach my ears. Kinzo enjoyed his food, apparently indifferent. Genji quietly lowered his head and took a single step back. As he did, Kanon, who stood in reserve like a shadow behind and to the side of Genji, opened his mouth.
Maria-sama apparently received a letter from Beatrice-sama, so I imagine they want to test its authenticity.
Has she already started then? Come, Beatrice. I have no shortage of coins to be wagered. Shall we enjoy this night to the fullest? I don't think I'll lose. Your smile will be mine for all eternity. If I could see it one more time, I wouldn't regret losing my wealth, my honor, or even my life. Well then, the roulette has begun to spin. Which pocket will the ball fall into? Noir, Rouge, or House Takes All? Come, you may begin, Beatrice. I'll show you the power of miracles once more.
And that is where we're ending it for tonight. I'll be back with this next Wednesday, picking up from here. Sunday, I still plan to continue Horizon Zero Dawn. Go ahead and make my saves here. Yeah, I'm sorry, my voice can't... I can't do any more than 2 hours. Besides, I just ran out of water, so... Besides, finishing up on Kinzo is like the worst for my throat, so I do, but I find that cough drops tend to help me better at this time, so I don't have any lemons. I'm trying to workshop that voice a bit. It keeps slipping back into the first one I had for him. So yeah, that doesn't help. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. Let me see if there is someone whom we can raid. I suppose there's some people we can raid. It's just that I don't really know that any of them really like. Let me double check a couple of things here. Hold on. I might also see if there's some newbie we can stream to. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Kishu. We will do that then. Mama Llama Face. Okay. All right. We will be raiding Mama Llama Face. And it's her birthday, so that works just perfectly. All right. This is Dr. Novelle, the Endless Sorcerer, signing out for the evening. I hope you guys have a good one. See you on Sunday, if not sooner. Let's begin the raid.